Raise your hand. I see some of you, and I will already point you out as I come back across, please.
This question
Sir?
is for the director. My name is Clinton Bailey. I'm an attorney. I'm also a member of BAPAC. An inspector general was not adequate to investigate a suicide of a White House official. It was not adequate to investigate the White House travel office. Neither was the FBI. Why is this investigation adequate to be handled by an independent inspector general? Why should an independent counsel be appointed by the president to investigate these charges?
There are two reasons. First of all, we have a set here of allegations, none of which are specific enough to lead to a criminal referral to the Department of Justice on any particular investigation matter. Were that the case, there should be a separate investigation. Secondly, as I tried to describe, there are several reasons why the Inspector General is the right place to begin. And all I'm saying is wait till you see the Inspector General report. It's going to be made public so you can see whether it's adequate or not. But the Inspector General has access, the Inspector General has people, the Inspector General has the knowledge about how to do these investigations, the Inspector General has a good track record. Those are all reasons for starting there.
My question is, sir, the problem with investigating the White House on simple matters like the travel office was the problem of public perception. This woman asked the question before about public perception. Acknowledging all these resources of the Inspector General could be used by an independent counsel in an investigation. Why don't you turn it over to an independent counsel?
Mr. Dort, do you want to answer? Do you wish to?
As I said before, the reason for not using an independent counsel is there's been no criminal complaint filed here.
Okay, fine. Just a minute. Just a minute. Cal Burton, and then the gentleman next to him, and then I will come back across. Now, you have had an opportunity to raise your question, sir.
Cal Burton from BAPAC, one of the chairpersons. I have a question, Mr. Dirch. You're a specialist.
Can you speak up, Cal,
yes,
into the mic?
You're a specialist in chemistry and has a PhD in chemistry. I'd like to ask you this question. First of all, the CIA, as been mentioned earlier, is investigating itself through the Inspector General. Back in the 70s and the 80s, Charlie Rango, a congressman out of New York, was the chairman of the Oversight Committee of Drug Enforcement as well as the CIA operations. Yet we find ourselves in dire straits here in the 90s. I am asking, and I think the community is asking today, who are the black elected officials that will be sitting on the committees and have access to any knowledge of drug sales or other illicit activities undertaken by the Contras and the CIA so that we can have specific input and so that our people, when they want to divulge some information, won't go to the CIA, they'll go to our people who will then pass it on to you. But we want to know today who from the black elected officials, is it Congressman Julian Dixon? Is it going to be our beloved Juanita McDonald? We want a specific answer.
Congressman Dixon will answer that.
Thank you. Thank you, Cal, for answering the question that you know the answer to. There was a meeting prior to this one of elected and community leaders. There's no secret about that. And I think Juanita McDonald did a very good job for BAPAC and others in spelling out that she would take the lead for this community. She feels that responsibility in spelling out that the Congressional Black Caucus has started its own investigation. I spelled out that I am a senior member of the House Intelligence Committee, and I pledge to you and the other people in that room that there would be a thorough investigation, but not only that, that we would make public disclosure of all the supporting evidence that would support our conclusion. So I thank you for asking that question for the rest of the people in the room.
Let me just follow up on what Congressman Dixon has said. In addition to his being the senior member who sits on the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and will be doing the independent investigation outside of the CEA Inspector General, outside of the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, the Congressional Black Caucus has appointed Congresswoman Maxine Waters as the chair, Vice Chair Juanita McDonald, to launch our own investigation with Congressman Louis Stokes heading up that investigation and going back and looking into the records. So there are more than just 2 agencies launching an investigation. There are numerous other investigations going on. When we get them all together, we will be able to discern who has really done an in-depth investigation and who has just really done an esoteric type of investigation.